Peace family, so I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how it will be extremely difficult during this spiritual wartime to see people as just people. And we deal with people every single day, all day, every day. Whether you're doing it in real lifetime out in the physical realm or whether you're doing it in the digital realm. It is extremely difficult for us, especially once you start raising your awareness and you start getting more connected with Source. I'm gonna revert that. Because there's a lot of self-aware witches out here that are not connected with our Source, but they understand that people aren't just people, which is why they do the things they do and extract the energy and try to sabotage, steal, kill, and destroy, do the things that they do. You know what I mean? But in the bigger picture, in the grand scheme of things, we want to see that reflection of us. The way society is set up, society doesn't reflect who we are from within when you're connected with Source. Society reflects who you are when you operate with the demonic playbook. This is why we catch so much backlash. This is why people tend to kind of get intimidated by us. That's always been a weird thing for me. People getting intimidated, especially if I'm not trying to be intimidating or the opposite sex be intimidating. It's just weird. We always have to deal with a multitude of things over on this side of the spectrum. So understanding that once you, how they say it in the movies, once you take that red pill or that blue pill, whatever color it is in the movies, you know, there's no going back. Once you start raising your awareness, there is no turning it off. You won't even be able to turn it down. That's what I'm trying to say. It only tends to make things a little bit worse on the outside, but it makes it so much better in the inside. Because with all our engagements and all the things that we do, we process everything inwardly before we do it outwardly. So when you understand these things, when you start having these weird situations with certain people, it allows you to put a solution or put it in a space to where you can categorize it at. Because the way we are set up, we give a lot of chances and opportunities. You know, we'll open doors, we'll allow people to come through and open doors. It's just what we do. You know, if we connected with Source, that means we're loving beings. That means the Creator don't shut the door. That's why they say people can switch playbooks. It's just they choose not to. So that's one thing I never did, was fault myself for opening doors for certain beings, because that's what the Creator does. I'm connected to Source. So it's only but so much beating myself down I could do because, oh yeah, you know better. You know what kind of energy that, you know what kind of person that is. What do you think the Creator is, or the Source has going on in whatever realm they in? What do you think got going on? We wasn't perfect, but the Creator knew, like, yeah, they have been pretty solid for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and open this door all the way up for them, show them what this love and vibe feels like, you know what I mean, so they can spread the rest of this for me. See, a lot of people tend to beat themselves down because they open a lot of doors, or they let people come in, or, you know, they give a lot of chances and opportunities. In the space that I live in, that's what the fuck we supposed to do. Would you want somebody counting you out after one shot or one chance? No, most likely not. You know what I mean? Especially if you was really putting energy and effort into it. If I really tried out for the basketball team, I hate to be cut, you know, off of one small situation when I know I really wanted to try out and I really wanted to play, and I'm putting in all this extra work and time and energy. Nah. But the more this spiritual war transpires, the more everything becomes visible. Meaning the veil has been taken off. We've been discussing sides being chosen. So now it's on us, when we out here engaging with people, figuring out how much love and light do we want to share and spread with them. I had somebody recently, when I was gaming, probably like a week or so ago, maybe a couple of days ago. I do get on and I game a little bit from time to time. That's my zen space, you know. So for me, occasionally I have to turn on and just block some of this shit out here and just lock in. I meditate outside too, so I do both. I'm in the digital world, but I'm a spiritual being. Like, I understand this on all levels. I feel like I done been here so many times now that it just free flows, you know. But it was a guy that got on there. He was just doing all this crying and complaining and shit talking to the team. And I got on to the mic and was just telling him, like, bro, like, he thought I was going to give him that same energy, because usually guys, when they get that kind of vibration, they tend to give it right back to him. But I wasn't in that kind of mood. And I didn't need any energy that needed to be transmuted. So I just really didn't feel like feeding it. But I didn't really feel like having that vibration just spread through my inner space. You know, it was through the digital realm, but hearing is a vibration. It still allows it to your inner space. So he was aggressive before I got on the mic. As soon as I got on the mic, he was still kind of aggressive. It ramped up a little bit because my voice was there. But then as I started talking, he started to chill and he soothed his vibration, his energy down. And I knew it was just because I didn't feed into it and I didn't try to transmute. I didn't have anything to transmute. So it's basically like, bro, like, you gotta chill, bro. Like, it's early in the AM. You up putting this energy out to the universe. Like, you know, we get the energy we put back out into the universe, right? For us over here, we get all vibrations. You're not just gonna get what you put out. You're gonna get all of it. But as far as for the other beings, you know, I knew I was, it sounds arrogant. I knew I was higher than them spiritually, you know. Anytime I do that, I always gotta, like, try to say it in the most humblest way. It's kind of like me saying, yeah, I'm taller than my daughter. I can say that without feeling like, oh, wow, you know, they think I'm cocky because I said I'm taller than my daughter. I'm conceited. It's like, no, it's just, sometimes it's just stating the facts. Like, facts are facts. And I could tell. But as I started speaking it and giving it to him a different vibration, and he kind of was listening to the words I was using, it took about 3-4 minutes and he had chilled his vibration all the way down. If I would have took on that situation as me just dealing with people, I wouldn't have gave it that same kind of insight or vibration. You know, I wouldn't have tried to correct the vibration that all of us was taking in. You know, it's 5 of us in there on the mic. So it's like I wouldn't have given it that way. But the way I did it, it didn't force anybody else that was around to ramp up their energy to get on the mics and start yelling, screaming, cursing, doing all these things. Damn it. I hate saying cursing because a lot of words are cursed. Not just the ones the system tells us are cursed. I get that a lot too, or I used to, from the fake Christians. I don't get it from real solid, honest Christians. They already understand, you know, things on a much deeper level. It's the ones who are not solid in the walk who says, oh, you're using curse words. I know more people who hurt themselves over being called fat and ugly before somebody used any of the words they say cursed. So that's just my insight on it. You know, my first year in high school, coming from 8th grade to 9th grade, it was yellow tape around our flagpoles in front of the school. They had the white stuff all on the ground, not the chalk. When you get a lot of blood on the scene somewhere, it's usually like some kind of powdery substance they pour over it. I've seen it in multiple locations, but I'm just speaking of this one. That's just what they do to try to dry it up and, I guess, to absorb it faster. But a guy had set himself on fire in front of the school because he was getting picked on. It wasn't because they were saying, shit, fuck, bitch. That wasn't why he hurt himself. He hurt himself and took himself out of here and moved on to his next journey because of the other words beings were using. So this is what I say, and what I mean by it's hard to look at people as just people. I never see the physical. When I see physical bodies, I look at that as a representation of the being from within. So sometimes if I see a man and he's like, I'm just going to say way too put together, like way just, some men are more in the mirror than females. That's feminine. It's not anything wrong with keeping yourself clean, hygienic, all that shit cool. But when your focus is solely on, oh, I gotta make sure my hairline is extra tight 24/7. I gotta make sure my locks, I gotta make sure my scalp is showing. You know, I gotta do all these things. You know, I need to go get a manicure, a pedicure. You know, I gotta do these things. It's like, bro, the way society is set up, men are not even really being men anymore. So I always perceive things different. So it's hard for me to see people as just people. When I see guys and men that's in those spaces, I'm like, I know how I gotta communicate with them. You know, so if I'm going into a store, I'm just speaking like, I don't say these things out loud. These are things that I process from within, and it helps me with which, when I run into people and I'm engaging with people in real life, inside is like a library. I know we don't have a lot of libraries out here now. Books is almost dead. But inside of here is like a library. So when I see that example that I just gave y'all, I'll go into my library. I'm like, I'm shuffling through. I find the book. Boom. I grab the book, pull it out. Okay, so now I know the dialogue I want to use for this being right here. I wouldn't treat the male demon the same way I would the female demon. I wouldn't treat, you know, the female god body divine femme the same way I would treat the masculine divine femme. They would get similar treatments, but it wouldn't be the exact same. You know, men and men engagements are just different. Men and women engagements are just different. I understand these things, so I don't live in la la land, but I'm not a disrespectful being. So for me understanding that, I got this library in here and I got this vocabulary and these words that I could pull and use from. It helps me process how to communicate with each different being that I have to engage with. See, I know they say life isn't a game, but once you walk this way of life for a while, you make it a game because it becomes kind of fun and challenging. A lot of people like challenges. I'm a being that like challenges. I'm not saying just throw a bunch of obstacles in my way, line a bunch of demons up at my front door, my windows, my walls, and then let me see if I can get out of here like a zombie apocalypse, because I most definitely will. But I have to understand how to communicate and engage, because I want to be able, and I know most of us, for one, healthy communication is like top tier, you know. Being able to use your words, you know, understanding your energy and emotion when you're communicating and doing these things, it all plays an impact, you know. And then most of us hear those sayings where it's not what you say, it's how you say it. The thing is, sometimes I say it how I wanted to say it because I wanted to punch it through you. I didn't want to sit it on the table real nice. You ever got frustrated at a sibling or something and they wanted like a toy or something or an item or something? You just like, here you go, take it. And you kind of give it to them with that hard shove. They still take it, but they're just like, yeah, that's me. So I do occasionally get those statements. Oh, no, what you said is how you said it. I'm like, I know. I communicate extremely well, so if I say something a certain way and you don't like how it's being said, that's because I intentionally done that. Engaging with these people in today's society, because we're mixed out here. You don't know who is what is where you're going, where you left. You just don't know until you start engaging. It's a percentage of beings that you can look at and you can be like, all right, boom, they go over here in this cat. I know those are sheep. When I see people with masks on, I'm like, oh, that's different. You know they're sheep. It's people still wearing masks to this day, and that's not even mandated out here anymore. And they still using the flimsy blue ones that are no good. I know what kind of being I'm dealing with. So if I engage with somebody who's willing to wear those masks, I already understand there's probably going to be a lot of disagreements. There's probably going to be a lot of combativeness. There's probably going to be a lot of misunderstanding. So what I do is when I communicate with these beings, I'm pretty shifty. So I know how to juke around certain questions, certain words. You just have to know the spaces. It's kind of like if you see a plumber, you don't go up to him talking to him about electricity. You know what I mean? You don't see an electrician and go up to him talking about painting. You try to figure out the field that they're in. You be like, plumbing, oh shit, yeah, I got a toilet at home. Hey man, so my toilet, when I flush it, the knob, the little flusher thing goes down, but it's no flush in the water. So is it something disconnected on the inside? Then he'd be like, oh yeah, point 1, 2, 3, 4, and they start lining you up with all these different solutions and ideas you could do to fix it, because you join their world. You know what I mean? Or you understood where to meet them at to have a better engagement. These are things that we should all be focusing on. You don't know how many people next door to you or above you or below you have been doing witchcraft, witch spells. If you're in an apartment complex, you can have a whole demon right upstairs in front of you that works spells on other people, not on you, but it's still in your space, your sphere. It's only these thin layers of sealing and insulation, whatever that little itchy shit is that gets all over you and make you itch. Just like, It's only but so much of that in between before you're actually getting affected. So it's just being mindful of all these things that's actually happening out here. And a lot of people don't really like to talk about it, touch base. It's a lot of the same conversations and the same talking points over and over and over and over and over and over again. And it's like nobody is really diving deep to try to pull out more substance. It's like, okay, well, talking about manifestation works. When that happened, everybody was talking about manifesting. This year, 2023, 2024, you don't hear a whole lot about manifesting. You don't. It's kind of what we all naturally do already anyway. So once people start learning and realizing it, it's like, oh shit, yeah. Well, if I want to manifest something bigger, that means I have to put more time and energy into whatever it is I'm trying to manifest. I'm not gonna just manifest no car that's $70,000-$80,000 and I'm not taking those steps into doing it. I'm just telling myself, I'm telling myself these affirmations. You got, that's your car, that's your car, that's your car. You're gonna get this car one day, that's your car. I have to be taking steps and applying myself. That's mandatory. That's mandatory, you know what I mean? But it's gonna be difficult to see people as people. You're gonna see them as like the movie Men in Black. Everybody, these little aliens on the inside, and you're trying to figure out which aliens are the good aliens and which ones are the bad aliens. If you're not trying to figure that out, trust me, you will be getting stabbed in your back. You will get shot in your face. They will crush your toes. Like, it's so many things it's people that's left this realm already because they did not want to take heed to any of this information that's out here right now. There are people who already left, chosen ones that had to get out of here because they wasn't fully following or cooperating. They wasn't really taking heed to everything that was happening in front of them and around them. You know what I mean? The creator just was like, you know what? I got some more that's coming through. I'm going to get you out of here before anything else worse happens or before you leave a more detrimental impact on the universe. You know what I mean? So don't think just because we down here, like, the creator won't pull you up there because you're not doing your job. You will get the eject button because we have more responsibilities here. We have more responsibility than the average person that you're looking at like a regular person. You have more responsibility. That's just how it's set up. you know? It's no different than some people who just born into privileged situations and some who are not born into privileged situations. But you won't be able to see people as people anymore once you start tapping into this awareness, once you start gaining more insight, once you start downloading more knowledge, once you start living life more naturally free-flowing, once you start removing as much fear as you possibly can from your life. You know what I mean? But I ain't want to run it up too long. Not too long this time, you know. We already been going about 20 minutes, but tap into everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.